What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? I'm your boy, Chocolate Thunder Jody Williams, and fresh off family vacation last week in Arizona. Everything was cool. The weather wasn't, but everything else was cool. Enjoyed myself. Um, the highest they got, I believe, was 118 degrees. So it's like, yeah, a little toasty, but I had a good time. Impromptu video. This is stemming from injuries in arm wrestling, right? Why are they happening? And you know, we all can speculate, right? So Levon would injure himself. We saw Jerry injured himself. Gasparini injured himself, and now Gennady injured himself. And so when you're making up these matches, whether it be King of the Table, whether it be at East First West, or even just just random events and stuff like that, where are they coming from? Sweden Arm Wrestling, what's going on? How you doing? Arm Wars for life, yes. And the thing I get is that arm wrestling itself is a very, very physical sport, strenuous on your body. You know, all the way from your head to your toes, I guess you could say. But the amount of training we all put in to compete for a match that may happen for 2 seconds, if that, it makes me wonder what exactly is going on. Now we can go back to the early 80s, mid 80s, whatever. Not a lot of people were doing the workouts that we all do now in 2023, right? So, and those guys lasted forever. So I'm trying to pinpoint exactly how is this happening? Is it the volume, Is it the fact that we all get sucked up into the size game? What I mean by that is that, there's a once upon a time, there was a situation where I wanted to become a bodybuilder. That was years and years ago. And, I sat there and I was like, you know what? If I want to be on the Arnold Classic stage, if I want to be on the Mr. Olympia stage, I would have to inject my body with this, that, and the other. Or else they would just be like, yeah, you're too small. And we all get sucked up into the size game. Okay. So it's taking place now in arm wrestling. We all seen pictures of Levon years ago, and now look what he is now. We've seen pictures of Hermes Gasparini, what he used to look like and what he looks like now. You could talk about that for a whole, handful of pullers. Now there's getting big, as in like, hey, we're getting older now. Maybe that metabolism has slowed down, so you just get big. It is what it is. However, there are some things about this where you kind of go, oh, what kind of vitamins is he taking? This, that, and the other. Let's not pull the wool over anybody's eyes. We know PEDs is very relevant in our sport. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing, but we all know it's relevant, right? And some people get sucked into the size game to the point where, I have to get bigger, not me, but just in general, I need to get bigger to compete at a certain level, or I have to match up myself to be noted as a world, recognized puller or whatnot. And at what cost is, at what point do we say, you know what, maybe I should just go ahead and scale back a little bit? And what I mean scale back, I mean maybe the training. Everyone trains differently, right? So it made me think, with everybody having these injuries and stuff. What's up, Paul? How you doing? With everybody having these injuries, it makes me wonder, okay, as guys, you and I and everybody else, we follow each other on Facebook. We follow each other on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We follow everybody on Instagram, and we see all these lifts going on. And I'm guilty as anybody else. I'll see somebody do lift and go, I wonder if I can do that. And we go try it, right? Cool. We go try that lift. If it's like, nah, he's a better man than me, or you go, man, I can do that. I could probably do a little bit more. And then we post that stuff, and then somebody else looks, oh, that's pretty cool. Where'd you learn how to do that? And all that kind of stuff. I get it, I get it. But at what cost, though? Because the injuries are really, really, depend on what they are, torn triceps or biceps, broken arms, what have you, scapular injuries, whatever. And you got to realize, let's just take me for an example, or even the common person. we suffer injuries like that, we still got to work, unless you got like the best insurance of all time, and you wreck yourself at a tournament or a match or whatever. And the first thing is like, okay, how bad is the injury? Then the next thing, damn, how long am I going to miss work? Right? So that goes without saying. And I'm wondering, not that I'm a PED, guy, but it makes me wonder when people indulge, and we'll use that word, indulge. When people indulge in that kind of stuff, at what point do you just say, yeah, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. Because as soon as you get a taste of that, or a bite of that apple, so to speak, and you do good, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's like, ooh, I want more, I want more, I want more. And people start doing this. And now the next thing is what? Stem cells. Never done them, never will, I don't think, because there's no need for that, But there are people out there who don't, and it does them good. It makes them feel healthier. And I'm glad everybody who does that, I'm glad they're healthy now. Right? However, it's what they mix on top of that, and you mix up that concoction. It's like going, okay. And I've known people, not a stem cell thing, but I've known people who do the PEDs and stuff, but they're also mixing it with other stuff they got to take, mental stuff they take for medicine, all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking, man, that's a cocktail waiting to happen, Yes, Gennadi's case was a bit different, and I'll get to that in a second too. Just from a PED standpoint, when's enough's enough, because you see bodybuilders, just this fucking, I got to get big, got to get big, got to get big at what risk your life, that kind of thing. So, but that's that. Now, Gennadi's case was different. Yeah, when you train hard, you got to take care of yourself. But sometimes things happen. They just happen, whether you snap something or, it just happens, and, knock on wood, you don't wish any pain to anybody, that kind of thing, Zurab just pushed too much, in my opinion. Zurab, and here's the thing, with that Zurab injury, I mean, coming like this, and he's probably known to do this, he's done it for, years and years. It's never been an issue. Then the one time, pow, so it's kind of like, okay, was it sloppiness on his part? I don't know, because you ask him, he's been doing this for so long that I know what I'm doing. Zurab knows his body better than anybody else, right? However, the one time he's just like, okay, pop, it goes the other way. And the first thing we all say is like, dude, why are you pulling like that? But he's been doing that for so long. It happens, right? I mean, it just, things happen. But the issue is that a lot of these injuries are happening more frequent than ever, one after another after another. It's like going, man, what's going on here? And it makes me wonder that what is going on with our bodies? What are we doing? Are we not drinking milk? I mean, I don't know. Anybody got something to say in the chat? Please do so. But think about it. And this was going back to last year, right? When it was Jerry versus Gasparini, and we were finally going to have that match. And then Jerry couldn't go because he had an injury. So we had to postpone that one, right? Then it was up again. Hey, he's healthy. He's back. He's ready to go. And then Gasparini, he gets injured in his match versus Levon. Then that got put on postponed for a second time. And I'm thinking, all right, here we go. Here we go. The week of, knock on wood, nobody gets hurt, but nobody should be training anyway, right? Not the week of a match, right? So we're finally going to see a match between Jerry Caderet and Hermes Gasparini that should have took place in 2022 on the tail end, right? So, all right, what we got here? Okay. I think the social media aspect is relevant. Guys have always been on PEDs. I think the that word, training videos has influenced the top athletes to push themselves harder and more often. Yes. So with that being said, here's what I think, What's up, Brian? How you doing? We see the videos, and like I sit there and cringe half the time. I mean, I just like watching other people's training videos because sometimes you may pick up something that you might want to do and it may work for you. Sometimes you watch stuff that's like, nah, I can't do that. Don't worry about it. Keep scrolling, right? But when I see these guys and they're sitting up here doing this And it's like mega weight. I'm thinking, man, that can't be good on your joints, you know. I look at strongman, those big stones, you know, I've done that before. And that took a toll on me. You're like, after I was done doing that, it took a toll on me, you know. Um, man, I couldn't do it no more, you know. All right, Chimp. Maybe the with the Georgians, there could be an issue with their specific PED regimen or training methods if they're all doing the same thing, but we all getting injuries from arm wrestlers all over. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is though, that does happen frequently, but it just seemed like lately it's just like, man, something's going on because they're just getting injury one after another after another. That's like going, okay, and now not just in regular these big giant promotions, but just in other matches and super matches just here in the States, wherever, you know, injuries happen. And I understand that you don't want to go into a match not 100% because something like that can happen. You want to make sure you be at your best because God forbid you go into a match with somebody and you're at 85, 90% and you don't win. You don't want to be like, man, if I was like, you know, 10, 50%, you know, at my best, stronger, I would have a different outcome. And who knows, maybe it would have helped, maybe not. I don't know. But all I do know is the fact that we got to be healthy. What can we do? You know, I don't know how everybody else trains out there because everyone trains differently. But, you know, what can we do? Is there something we can do to make sure that we're not constantly just, you know, injuring ourselves? Because, you know, when those kind of injuries happen, we're talking months on the shelf. We're not talking, oh, man, it's just a sprain. I'll be back in 3 weeks. We're talking like months on the shelf, you know. And I know elite pullers at that level, once they sit out for a while, you know, they get leapfrogged. And then they almost at the back of the line got to work their way back up, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. But yeah, so it's like all these matchups that we wanted to see, all of a sudden the sales came out and it's like going, man, now what do we do? You know, as spectators, as arm wrestling fans, whatever, what can we do to make sure that we take care of ourselves smart and healthy? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Not so much what we can do for them, but just for ourselves in general. You know, voice your opinion because I'm telling you, I'm just like, I see another injury, I'm like going, fuck, you know? However, what that comes is now we got different opportunities for other people to go up in there and make something happen. So now you got Georgie subbing in for Gennady for the match with Mr. Morozov. So, and for me, when you had the original card, right? And it's like, okay, here's the original card. We're going to do this. And then, hey, curveball. Because remember, I think the original East versus West card came out. Remember, we had Mindaugas Terrasitis versus Giannis. And then that's no longer on the table. You know, and I think so many matches have been flip-flopped or so many have been altered ever since the original card was announced up until now due to injuries, you know. And like I said, I never am one that wish injuries upon anybody, but I sit there and just go, damn, now how long are they out, you know? So anyway, that was just my rant. I just noticed that it's like going, man, it's happened a lot more than maybe it maybe happens all the time. It's just it happens a lot more close together, you know. So anyway, I'm just sitting there chit chatting. I was wondering, I was like, let me go live and just see, you know, throw it out there, my opinion on my soapbox and just see what happens, you know. So what else we'll talk about? Don't and before anyone says Devin and Ryan, you know, here's the thing. Okay. I'm gonna say my piece. I'm gonna repeat it tomorrow because SB is my co-host on our show, The Cam Connection. Tomorrow, we're back. I've been gone for 2 weeks. We're back. So, my opinion, because I did watch the Fix yesterday. Neil Pickup, Paul Lynn, Devin, and Ryan were on there. And, you know, what do I think? Well, here's my honest opinion. And I already said it on there yesterday. So, my issue is when the way the whole thing happened, as far as, you know, hey, if Devin really wanted to pull Ryan, I think that probably should have been a match aside from the tournament. That's just my opinion, you know. Not that it holds any water, but the thing is, though, is that if Devin is personally going after Ryan, it's one thing to say, and we'll just use my man Paul Stevens for an example. Let's just say, oh, Paul's in my class. I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna see you in the finals, man. I can't wait till we, you know, lock up on the table. It's one thing, but to kind of, I don't want to say stalk him, but to the point where now you're laying down to purposely get back at him. It's like at that point, you know, it's not like a local tournament at, you know, Jerome's barbecue shack tournament. This is like Canadian Nationals. And for some people out there, that means a lot to them, you know. And the thing is, though, is that when you're laying down to people here and there, then I'm a win, lay down, whatever, just to get back. And remember, Canadian Nationals is triple elimination. So, you know, when you win and then you lay down, you know, and then just to come back from the B side and pull them again, at that point, it's not even the sportsmanship aspect of it. Now, I don't have an opinion about the rest of the shit, but for me, it was more like, dude, just have a separate super match and have the people who want to pull the Nationals have it out. Because now with Devin laying down to some people, you know, in the books, oh yeah, I beat Devin. Because there are some weirdos out there who will sit there and say, oh yeah, I got Devin, go look at the books. Yeah, I beat him. Like, come on, man. It wasn't legit. He laid down because Devin's mind frame was somewhere else, you know. So that's how I see it. I just think that maybe if those two say, hey man, if you want to put me that bad, I will not pull the tournament, not pull Masters, and then just to go ahead and I'll pull you one-on-one. And that'll be like the cherry on top for the whole Canadian Nationals event. And let the other guys have it out to get their national titles or whatnot, you know. I just think that was kind of a messed up the way he did that. Now, all the other stuff, it was back and forth. It's like, well, and I was hoping these two would get together. I'm sure we're going to touch base on this tomorrow morning show. I was hoping that when it was all said and done, the smoke cleared, that they could have said, all right, bury the hatchet, let's move forward. But it just seemed like it left more questions, like the fact that Ryan said you have to pull him. Devin says, okay, how about that? 50 grand, let's go. And it's like going, really, dude? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know how many people out there have an additional 50 grand underneath their couch cushions. You know, I don't have 50 grand just laying everywhere to say, okay, here's 50 grand, let's go pull. You know, I mean, that was kind of a messed up thing to say too. If you want to, and Ryan's like, I just want to pull just to see for pride or whatever. I don't know. I mean, just pull for that. But 50 grand, you know, I kind of see where Devin's coming from with that, because to a point where you're a prize fighter now, okay? He's at that stage in his life or in his career where he's a prize fighter, okay? So I'm not going to pull unless a promoter's putting up money. Well, Ryan's in the same boat, you know? And he's told you that, hey, you know what? Promoter wants to put up some money. Yeah, let's go do this because you're a prize fighter. Now, you know, just the fact that Devin said, hey, 50 grand, like, Devin, here's the thing. And this is no shot at my co-host, because I love my co-host to death, you know. Devin, how about 50 grand to somebody else, like Hermes Gasparini or Otto Morozov? How about 50 grand to that? Won't you go find a promoter, right? And then have them pay for. I'd rather see Devin versus Hermes for 50 grand, or Devin versus Morozov for 50 grand. That's just my opinion. Not that my opinion holds any water, but that's where I'm coming from, you know, because that's exciting, because it's two guys we're going to throw down. This one is a little bit more personal, you know, and sometimes when you get two guys that are, you know, on the table and things are personal, emotions get involved, and then you're not thinking clearly, and that can interrupt the actual match and all that kind of stuff. Just my opinion, not that it holds any water. So anyway, that was my part on that. I'm not going to dive too much into it because I know we'll probably briefly gloss over it, you know, tomorrow. So, but again, everybody, if you had a moment, thanks for chiming in. Appreciate that. Ryan Espy and myself will be back on tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow morning, same time, 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. where he's at in the Central Standard Time Zone. Thanks for checking me out. Y'all have a good day. Happy Monday.